What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, back to talk about Walmart. So I have tried this Walmart business model, and let me tell you, it's going sensational. It is a completely different twist on the original drop shipping model. And today I'm going to talk about what it is, how it works, and why it's as red hot right now as some cinnamon rolls straight out of the oven. And that tells you what I'm thinking about. I got a one-track mind. Food's always on my mind. Food and money. So that's what this video is about, how to make money in Walmart in 2022 and how things are working now that the game has completely changed. So I'm super fired up to talk about Walmart. I hope you're fired up. Let's do this. Right, so first things first, I'm going to show the back end of 3 stores and I'm going to break down the model because I've received countless amounts of questions on, Liz, what is two-step drop shipping? And although I've explained it a ton of times, I'm going to explain it again just because I love you guys. So we're going to break that down. And at any point in time, if you guys want to find out more about how to get one of these automation stores for yourself, my email is below. They are popping off right now, and it's for good reason. There's not a lot of sellers on Walmart, and that's primarily everybody got shut down, right? Everybody that was executing the standard drop shipping model got shut down. And what I mean by that is if you were just putting up listings that were available on Amazon or Sam's Club or anywhere like that, and then drop shipping the product to the Walmart client, pretty much guaranteed got suspended and or terminated. Now the game is vastly different, and the game includes the service provider having to have a physical location, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a pretty decent sized warehouse. What is that warehouse used for? Well, it's used as an intermediary or somewhere to ship the products to, repackage them, and then send them to the Walmart client. So there's kind of a 2-step process on it, hence the name that I just invented for it, which is Walmart 2-step dropshipping. It's the hottest thing on Walmart right now because the sellers, all the drop shippers, are gone. And so as a result, people are seeing huge months. The stores are taking off dramatically. They're really much headed to the moon immediately, and that's because the competition is almost all but gone. There are very few people offering this type of service, and the people that are offering it have to be big players in the space because they've got to occupy a warehouse where these packages will arrive. They'll be repackaged, repurposed, and shipped out to the Walmart client. And again, this creates all sorts of brand new issues for a service provider, which means they got to have staff on the ground. So now a majority of their staff is in the USA and they are stateside. So it presents a whole new slew of requirements for a dropshipper. Now, Liz, there you go, using those fancy words. Like, honestly, I can't think of any other word to stick in there. And sometimes I use bad words and sometimes I use crazy long good words. So that's just how I am. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of these stores. Obviously, we're headed into Q4. We're in October, which is the happiest time of year. I know a lot of you guys are excited whether you're selling books and or drop shipping, doing physical products, or FBA. This is the happiest time all year round, and for good reason. So let's hop into some of the stores on the back end. Now you guys sort of have an understanding of how 2-step works. All these stores are utilizing the 2-step method, and you'll notice their numbers are pretty much well in line with what standard drop shipping stores do. And in fact, in some cases, they're a heck of a lot better. Now, the final thing that I did want to mention before we even move on is that because the business model is more involved and it requires a lot more steps, like it requires people on the ground working for you, repackaging, the amount of customers or clients that service providers take on are going to be far less. So the odds are that there will be a lot of times where you do talk with a service provider that could be offering this, where they're going to decline you. And that's for the simple fact that this model requires a lot of employees, particularly on the ground. So that means stateside employees that have to do this work. So keep that in mind. If somebody tells you you have to be on a waiting list, yeah, it's probably true. And that's for the simple reason that, again, people are having to repackage this stuff and they're having to ship it out. And you're getting legit tracking numbers as opposed to fake ones, which were causing all the issues to begin with. So your odds of getting suspended and or terminated with this model are slim to none. If anything, the only worry that you'd have from a suspension perspective is the fact that you could get shut down for having poor metrics. But again, those suspensions aren't as bad as what was happening before. Like before, it was Walmart was suspending with the intent to terminate. Now they're going to be suspending with the intent for you to improve your metrics. That way you stay on the platform as a seller, because in their eyes, they're seeing you ship from a legit warehouse and not one of their major competitors. So it makes them happy to know that their customers aren't getting a box from Amazon or a box from Sam's Club, even though that's their own company, right? They're feeling a lot better that people know they're getting shit from Walmart, because at the end of the day, that's what people are expecting when they're shopping on Walmart. They don't want to get a surprise box from Amazon that's significantly cheaper on Amazon. It makes Walmart happy that it seems in their eyes that you are abiding by their rules. So when you abide by the rules, here's the kind of numbers you get. Let's hop into store number one. So here we have store one. In the previous videos, we talked about all the different categories that these stores sell from, and we've gathered that it's like a ton of different categories. Like this one in particular right now, what's hot and what's popping off, art and adult crafts. Again, we got those strange ladies buying from that particular category. Household chemicals, wall art and mirrors, and wellness. Household chemicals, no telling what people are buying there. You know, it is Christmas season. God only knows what's happening in houses if all the chemicals are getting sold. All right, so last 7 days, $8,000. Let's take a look at the last 30 days. This one is $47,000. Not doing bad at all on this particular store, and it's been running for quite some time, but overall 1,400 units sold in the month, and I'm guesstimating that this is going to go through the roof since we're headed straight into Christmas. So that's store number one. Let's pop into store number two. So here we have store number two, $8,700 in the last 7 days. Not bad. I mean, this one's hitting wellness, party supply, because it's time to party like it's 1999, especially on New Year's Eve. We've got, I don't know what this is, Tav accessories. I have no idea what that is. Obviously, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. And pet health. I do know what that is, pet health. And let's take a look at the last 30 days on this particular one. On this one, we have a $45,000, almost $46,000 in total sales and 1,367 units. Up overall from the last month. The average price is down. Not anything telling other than, you know, it's going pretty steady. And again, I assume that this one's going to hit some pretty darn good numbers coming into the Christmas months. We see some pretty good improvement for it is my guesstimate. Let's go into the final store now. All right, here we have the final store, down 42% compared to last year. Yeah, I mean, we could look at that and say, okay, it's concerning, but let's face it. At this point last year, we were doing standard drop shipping. It's a lot easier to execute, but at the same time, there's a lot more risk involved, including you could make a ton of money and only to have Walmart hold it and then allow everybody and their mother to make returns on it. With this particular model, it's going to be steady growth, and you're going to have to allow and be able to understand that the service provider has to grow along with you. So it's going to take a little while longer to grow these stores, but the upstart is pretty astronomical. It starts up pretty quickly, and then it's going to slowly start to build at some point, and that's looks to be the point where this is reaching right now. Let's take a look at the last 30 days. $30,000 on this particular store. As you see, it grew tremendously, and now there's a bit of the growing pains involved, which is to be expected. And you'll also notice over the course of the last 30 days, it's up almost 400%. So, I mean, all in all, these stats don't really tell us that much. If we look at the overall year to date on this store, let's have a look at what it's done. Almost $600,000. And while it seemed a little bit of a dip, again, I talked about why that dip happened. The main reason that happened is because this had to be switched from standard drop shipping to two-step drop shipping, which is going to take a while before it pops back up. But overall, still impressive nonetheless, and I don't doubt that this one can hit the million mark when we come close to the end of the year. Let's look at the final two that I did not look at, but the year to date on this one is $81,000. Now remember, this is a brand new store, just started in July, already has hit $81,000, and that's what I'm talking about by the astronomical growth that you see initially, and it shoots up. It's pretty significant, and then it'll take like a little slowdown at some point. But in general, last 30 days, 48,000, altogether 80,000. This is since July, so it's been going on all July, all August, and all September. 3 whole months, $80,000. You guys do the math. You're a heck of a lot better than I am at it. I'm like a squirrel on a calculator with math. Okay, and the last and final store, and we'll call it a day right here, $193,000 in total sales. Again, this was a conversion store, so if not doing as well, it says over the past year. It's understandable considering a lot of these stores were growing for quite some time, and then they just got shut down, just boom, just dove off a cliff right here back in June, and then it had to be converted. And as you've seen, it's slow growth, slow and steady. That's what wins the race. We don't want to be like the hare and just take the F off and just chug down all that Red Bull we possibly can. We want to be slow and steady and win the race. And Again, if you guys want to know how to get one of these Walmart automation stores for yourself, my email is below. Just reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to jump on a phone call with you. But other than that, questions and comments go below. I always personally answer those, and I'll see you guys next time.